know what day of the week it is. I was confused. We know or believe that the tech is a little bit glitchy today. So I'm looking to all my people out there to give me a call if we are glitchy. I know who's going to look out for me because we want to make sure that everyone could hear today's episode and we're not too glitchy. So,
Dr. Nova, I have to say that you froze a couple of times while you were speaking. So let's keep an eye on the technology.
okay, sounds good. All right. It is Wednesday, September 7th, and it is a day 4. We ask that everyone please rise for the pledge, which we will do in Spanish today. Yo prometeo lealtad a la bandera de los Estados Unidos de América y la república que representa una nación ante Dios, indivisible, con libertad y justicia para todos. I definitely have to work on my pauses and my Spanish Pledge of Allegiance, but I'll get there. How'd I do, Miss Pedro?
You did absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Dr. Nova, for showing us how you learn 2 languages. Actually, 3. Don't you know 3, Dr. Nova, now?
Un poco di italiano. A little bit. But Miss Pedro, your face froze while we were talking. So I think we're going to give the announcements a whirl, but we might have to hold on our bullying presentation.
I agree because Mrs. Walsh and I have worked so hard to prepare a presentation for all our leaders, and we want to make sure that they hear every single word.
I agree. And it would not be fun if it was like this. Okay, let's keep rolling with it so today. Today we are going to have indoor recess. Recreo interior. Why, you might ask? Because the field is wet and it looks like it's going to rain midday. Right, Miss Pedro?
I agree totally. Vamos a tener recreo adentro del salón de clases porque parece que va a llover y toda la grama está totalmente mojada todavía.
But if the sun starts to shine, we'll let you know.
Pero si el sol sale, le dejamos saber y podemos ir afuera.
All right. Tomorrow is going to start the team building experiences. Not today, because today's Wednesday, but we will have team building experiences for all of our students either on the 8th or the 15th. So what we ask is that after you participate, you complete a very, very important survey telling us about how your perceptions of your team and yourself have changed. That will be posted in the Google Classroom tomorrow. But it's really important because we want to bring more of these experiences to our school community, but we need to know its impact. Miss Pedro, can you help translate that?
It will be a pleasure. Entonces, mañana nosotros vamos a tener actividades de equipo donde vamos a aprender cómo trabajar juntos. Vamos a tener esos eventos mañana y la próxima semana también. Después de esos eventos, por favor, necesitamos que ustedes llenen una encuesta que es muy importante y esa encuesta va a estar en nuestra clase de Google. Por favor, llene esas encuestas porque nos va a dejar saber a nosotros si a usted le gusta y si podemos traer más eventos como estos en el futuro. Así que van a buscar eso mañana después de los eventos.
Miss Pedro, I have some really exciting news because I knew my people were out there watching and they told me it's not glitching. So we're going to keep rolling. Does that sound okay?
Yeah. We're so excited. Yes, let's go for it.
All right. Are we going to talk about being polite or are we just diving into our presentation for today?
Let's just say something about being polite. I want to congratulate all of our leaders that were leaving from the bus to come into school. They said good morning, hello, how are you to myself, to Ms. DeLeo, and to Ms. Diaz while they were outside. And I cannot tell you that's exactly what we want. So congratulations and thank you to all of you who were so polite on your way into school. It really made our day.
I love that so much. I'm sorry I was stuck in a meeting and I missed it.
Next time, don't worry because our leaders will continue to do so from now on.
I love it. All right. Are you ready for today's presentation?
We are. Let me see if I could present my screen.
I got you. It's all set up. I'm just going to take myself out of here. I'll hit those slides, but I'll be listening. So if I miss one, you just let me know.
Dr. Nova, you're the best. Thank you so much. So everyone, I am Ms. Puello, the assistant principal here at Roosevelt School. I'm so excited that you're here. And I would like to introduce you to...
I'm Mrs. Walsh. I'm your school counselor.
And the two of us are going to be working together to help all of our school community really have a fantastic year this year. So we have some questions to ask you. And once we post those questions, there's 4 here, but we're only going to ask you 2. Can you take a few moments and turn to the person next to you and just say what you would do? Are we ready? Okay. The first one is, if someone shoves you and wants to fight you, you want to stick up for yourself, but you don't know what to do. You don't want to get into a fight. What would you do? Alguien te enoja y te empuja y quiere pelear contigo. Quieres defenderte, pero no quieres pelear. ¿Qué harías? Can you turn to somebody? What would you do in that situation? Do.
I love this.
Thank you so much. Mrs. Walsh, why don't you give them another scenario?
You receive a text message telling an embarrassing story about another student who has often been mean to you. You know your friends would think it's funny. What would you do? So again, picking a partner next to you and taking like 15 to 20 seconds and thinking about what would you do in that situation.
Dr. Nova, could you go to the next slide? Thank you. So today we're going to talk about something that's very important to our school community. We here at Roosevelt School want to make sure that we are all buddies. And what is a buddy? A buddy is a friend, someone that you can talk to. So we want to make sure that we're moving from bully to buddy. That is the expectation. Hoy nosotros vamos a hablar de cómo ir de acoso a amigo. Oh, can you go back? And there should be a button to play here, because one of the things that we want to make sure that you do is that understand what the definition of a bullying is. We want to make sure that you know what it is so that you don't do that.
And Dr. Nova, when you're playing the video, if you could just put the subtitles on for Spanish, that would be really helpful.
Un momento. You can continue talking about those scenarios while I get our technology organized.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
So while we're waiting for the video to load, you can go to that same partner you've been chatting with and discuss what you think the definition of a bully is.
Bullying is not just...
So go to English Auto. Yep. And oh, maybe not. Yep, there you go.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nova. We are showing you examples of how good friends help each other.
just any mean behavior. It's when someone keeps being mean to someone else on purpose.
Can I please play with you?
No, go away.
And the person it's happening to hasn't been able to make it stop.
I'm scared he'll be even meaner to me if I tell him to cut it out.
It's unfair and one-sided. Bullying is not limited to physical behavior. It also includes verbal insults, threats, teasing, gossiping, and social exclusion, all of which can happen both in person and electronically. Bullying can happen almost anywhere, and it has serious consequences.
So, how do you stop this?
The good news is, there's a lot we can do to address the problem. Nationwide efforts have led to a decline in bullying, but we still have a long way to go. We invite you to join us and help prevent bullying.
Thank you so very much. So keep that definition in mind of bullying, because we're going to continue to talk about it right now. As you saw in the video, there are many different types of bullying. Verbal, for example, name calling or teasing someone.
Social media or social exclusion. So like it said in the video, some of these bullying acts can happen online, but it can also be something like not including someone, not allowing someone to sit with you at lunch, and things of that nature.
And of course, there's also physical, which means that you're fighting someone else or maybe kicking somebody on the bus seat. All of those things are not considered very nice. And of course, making fun of someone in the way they look, for example, talking about their hair, talking about their weight, talking about where they come from, all of those are different types of bullying that we do not want to see here at Roosevelt School. And they can happen anywhere. As you know, they can happen in the classroom or in the hallways, bathrooms, in the lunchroom and recess, on the bus, and even while you're at home. So we want to make sure that you're aware when those incidents happen.
And we're going to talk through what to do if you are being bullied.
And remember, sometimes you might not think that you're bullied, but sometimes what you're doing is also not the right thing. So we're going to talk about those two different perspectives. So right now we're going to talk to you about what to do if you are being bullied. ¿Qué hacer si estás siendo acosado?
So the first thing you would try and do is advocate for yourself and try and handle it first if you feel comfortable. So while we do want our Roos leaders to be advocates, we also understand that everyone might not feel comfortable advocating for themselves first. So we want you to try this, but if that doesn't work for you, you can tell a trusted adult in school or outside of school. And on the next slide, we'll actually show you a map of where to tell some of your trusted adults other than your teachers.
So, es muy importante que si usted está siendo acosado, que usted le diga a esa persona, no me gusta eso, ay, eso me molesta, por favor, deje de hacer esto. Y porque es muy importante que usted mismo hable por sí mismo. Pero es importante que sepan que si usted no está confortable usando sus palabras, primero, y ha tratado de resolver el problema y no ha sido resuelto, es importante que hable a una persona en que usted confíe. Puede ser una persona en la escuela o fuera de la escuela. Y esa persona le ayudará a resolver el problema a través de la mediación entre usted y esa persona, o en un circo, o haciendo, por ejemplo, consejos con diferentes grupos. Es importante que ustedes sepan. En el mapa siguiente le vamos a demostrar quiénes son esas personas.
And we also just want to reiterate that when you either tell somebody that you're being bullied or you are the person doing the bullying, the actions are really about fixing the relationship, not about someone being in trouble or someone having a really negative outcome. It's really about fixing what's going on so that everybody can feel more comfortable.
And also, every day is a new day. So every day you can begin again. Es importante que sepan, como la señora Walsh acaba de decir, que esto no es porque ustedes van a estar en problemas, sino que queremos reparar la relación. Queremos que todo el mundo se lleve muy bien. No se tienen que gustar siempre, pero sí se tienen que llevar bien.
And again, this is the map of where different people other than your teachers, right? Because if you want to chat with your teachers, that's a perfect person to talk to. But if there's somebody else you'd also like to speak to, this is where everyone's offices are.
So Mrs. Walsh, who's our school counselor, is located on the first floor. And right across from her is our fantastic social worker, Mrs. Lyman, who's also on the first floor. And then on the second floor, we have the amazing Mrs. Cabrera, who's on the second floor, and the amazing Miss Puello, who's also on the second floor. And of course, we have the most amazing person in this building, besides your teachers, Dr. Nover, who's on the ground floor.
You're way too kind to me, and I'm just really glad to see myself on this map.
You have an amazing team of people here, from the amazing Mrs. Walsh to all the names that I've said here. All of us are here to help you, in addition to your teachers and your teaching assistants and your lunch monitors.
And I just want to give both of you a shout out for really thinking about, sometimes it's hard to find someone and it seems like there's no one there, but hopefully our students can hold this image in their minds to remember there's always someone there.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Tenemos muchos adultos que lo pueden ayudar, como la señora Walsh, la señora Lyman, que están en el primer piso, la señora Cabrera, que está en el segundo piso, yo que estoy en el segundo piso, y obviamente la directora que está en el primer piso, abajo. Este equipo que es fenomenal, están aquí siempre para ayudarlos, así que no se sientan solos. So, what happens if you think that you're the one who's being a bully? What can you do to become a buddy and a friend?
So the first thing that you can do is acknowledge that you made a mistake or that you did the wrong thing. The easiest way to kind of think about, did I do something wrong, is thinking about it from that person's perspective. How would I feel if someone were doing this to me? The second actionable item would be to apologize to the person that you were not being kind to. Know that, like Ms. Bayo already said, every day is a new day to start. Knowing that you are a human, you can make a mistake. It's really what you do after that counts. And last, accept that you are a leader, and leaders focus on doing the right thing. So keep trying your best even when no one is watching.
Es importante que usted, si usted se da cuenta que es usted el que está haciendo el acoso, que usted, por favor, mire a sí mismo y reflexione y se dé cuenta de que está haciendo algo. Tome esa perspectiva. Estoy haciendo algo que está bien, y si no, no lo haga. También tiene que disculparse con esa persona. Por favor, es importante saber que todo el mundo hace un error y podemos aceptar ese error y empezar de nuevo al próximo día. Así que tengamos eso en cuenta. Y obviamente acepte que usted es un líder aquí en esta comunidad. Usted como líder tiene que enfocarse en hacer las cosas correctamente. Y por favor, si ningún adulto está mirando, sin otros niños están mirando, es importante que ustedes siempre hagan lo que está correcto.
And something to think about when you are saying something about yourself, a peer, anybody really, are that there are 4 gates that you should pass through. Is the comment kind? Is it helpful? Is it necessary? And is it true? And if the answer is no to any or all of those questions, then what you're about to say, you probably should not be saying.
Es importante que ustedes sigan esta regla. Si ustedes van a decir un comentario, en su mente rápidamente piensen, lo que voy a decir es simpático, es útil, es necesario, es verdad. Si la respuesta a esas 4 preguntas son sí, puede decirla. Si la respuesta a esas 4 preguntas es no, mejor no diga nada. So from our leaders, what do we expect? Just like we mentioned a little bit before, we want you to be polite, use kind words, include everyone, and appreciate those around you.
And be safe. Be aware of the people around you. Clean up after yourself. Keep your hands and feet to yourself. And if you see something, say something.
We want you to be an upstander, not a bystander.
And what that really means is, right, there's people who are being bullied. There's the person who is the bully. And then sometimes there are other people that are around witnessing what is happening. So we want you to be an upstander, and we're going to talk about what that means. So being an upstander means that you take action and assist others, that if you're witnessing something that seems like bullying, you're going to tell somebody, and that you can tell a trusted adult in school or outside of school so that everyone can feel comfortable and safe.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Walsh. So lo que queremos aquí decir es que una persona que es lo que se llama un upstander es una persona que toma acción y ayuda a los demás. Si usted ve algo, diga algo. Ayude a ese otro niño y también le diga a una persona, a un adulto en la escuela o fuera de la escuela. And just so that you know, if bullying does occur, welcome back, Dr. Nover. Dr. Nover and I are your DASA coordinators. And basically what that means is that if we do hear of any incidents or you report an incident of bullying, we will investigate all of the incidents, talk to you and witnesses around, and also communicate with your families about what's happening. Dr. Nover, would you like to add anything to that?
I was just going to say that, you know, as someone who has experienced bullying in my own life and my own experiences, and I'm happy to share those with students if they ask, everyone here is loved and cared for. And that is the heart of our community. And I think Ms. Plejo and Mrs. Walsh have given us strategies for us to think about whether we're engaging in bullying behavior or we're experiencing bullying, or we're just seeing kids not being kind to one another. We really need to work together as a community. So I am super excited because I am going to be coming around to some classes to read a kid's book about community, because within a community, we all take care of one another. So I'm excited to continue this conversation in your classes as I come to read to you. And I just want to thank Mrs. Walsh, Miss Puejo, and I believe that Miss Lyman, Mrs. Cabrera were also really supportive of getting today's programming off the ground. So thank you all so much for taking care of our leaders.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Nover. And we just want to end by showing you some community prompts that maybe you and your Dr. Nover, if you don't mind putting on the slideshow again, where you and your leaders and your teachers might like to continue talking about this, because October is actually anti-bullying prevention month.
So some ways that you can support or show that you are anti-bullying is that you can wear orange. And during Culture of Care discussions on Fridays, you can discuss how you're a friend this week, how you may have been an upstander this week, and what are some ways that you can be an upstander next week.
And then in the next slide, if you don't mind, teachers, if you have some time today or maybe tomorrow, you might want to talk a little bit more about being an anti-bully, being an upstander, by using some of these community circle prompts. You could pick one or you could use all of them. For example, number 2, remember the time when someone was not nice to you. What would you do in that situation? And if you were that person, how would you use the 4 gates in order to become a better buddy to somebody else? And
I love it.
Yeah, good. And if you have any questions, please feel free to stop Mrs. Walsh in the hallway, myself, Dr. Nover, Ms. Cabrera, Ms. Lyman. We are all here to support you. And I know we're going to have a fantastic year.
Absolutely. And I know that as we get towards October, we'll be thinking about publicity for our Wear Orange for Bullying Awareness Day. We'll probably have a poster contest, video contest, and other things that we spread the message of being a buddy, not a bully. So
thank you so much.
Have a great day, everybody. We love you so much. Thank you all. We'll see you later.
Adiós. Gracias.
Hasta luego.